Welcome to Packmates, a podcast about Magic the Gathering Unlimited, where we take a deep dive into the current limited formats. This week we're talking about Lorcana.
Yep. And I'm Roby, the resident Dirtle expert.
I'm Andrew, the resident 6-color expert.
And I'm Ryan, the resident steel expert. Lorcana lingo.
Yeah,
I feel so exerted after this draft.
I think I could get ready
What
again.
did we do this week?
We drafted Lorcana
Why?
because it sounded fun.
yeah.
Ah.
And it's not Lord of the Rings. So like that's one check, right? It's something new. And I think it was beneficial, and I think it was a cool way to learn this game. I think we'll be some of the only people ever that like first experience with this game was a draft.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. Like, I never even played it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like tonight was the first night that it was available. I played one random game online using Pixelborn, but
Shout out to Pixelborn.
yeah, shout out free. All the
Sponsor
cards.
of the show.
Support your local game stores and
Pixelborn. your local make a Lorcana card game before they can even make it.
Yeah.
That's like
yeah, we bypassed the whole like learn to play thing. We went straight to expert level
mode.
drafting, hard mode. Yeah, you know,
we learned a lot, I feel
Yeah.
like.
I feel like I learned some rules today.
Yep. I feel like if I drafted again, my deck would be completely different. What about you guys?
same here. I was overvaluing certain things for sure.
The only thing that matters is the number of, well, there's two things that matters. The number of
the mana
quests
cost?
and the mana cost.
Yes.
And if the mana cost says anything above 6,
Okay.
don't
Well, how'd you do, Ryan? What'd you end up
we
doing?
were all like 1-1, right?
yeah, we were all 1-1.
Yeah.
It was just a 6-man draft, and then we played a little bit more for fun.
Yeah.
I did okay. Like my deck was fine. I just got beat down by aggro, which like that guy 2-0'd everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his
Yeah.
highest CMC was 4, and he just had bodies.
Yeah.
And he just went face. And that doesn't seem like a very fun TCG to me.
It was a little bit interesting the way they have this TCG set up with the cards not being able to be targeted or attacked when they're readied is a little tough because you can kind of get a critical mass of things and just hold the board and then just 7-8 you done.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like a swarm kind of deck at that point. Like if you want to put it in Magic terms, that's the way I kind of feel sometimes.
Yeah, combat damage is not a real thing.
Yeah.
It's like negative to like attack other people's creatures.
Something
For
I
sure.
didn't like in this thing was some of the combat system is a little weird where I kind of miss having Magic rules where you're like, I can double block or I can double attack.
Yeah.
And I wanted to double attack like a bunch of times.
Well, you can attack the same guy with a bunch of different guys.
I didn't want my guys injured. Like both injured. The
I
same
had to
guy.
do that a couple times.
I had to do that. I took it down and it's just like I think the removal was a little light.
Yeah, removal's light in draft for sure.
It's bad.
Yeah, it was a little light.
There isn't a lot of good ones.
I don't think you actually have 20 health. Like, I don't think you actually get to play with 20 life. I think once you're at 15, you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
felt really
'Cause the
miserable.
board's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like sometimes once you're at like 13, you lose, which is absurd.
Yeah. I lost from, I think I was at 11 and I just lost from 11. Just out of, the same kind of deal. Just had a critical mass of cards that I couldn't target, I couldn't interact with. A couple of Asian guys kind of getting in there. And that was about it. That was about all she wrote.
yeah. I don't know.
I think the draft could be deeper once.
So let's
Like-
go into the rules of draft. Right?
Okay.
So like it's like Magic where you take a card and pass it, right? But the packs are smaller.
12 cards and
12
2
cards.
rares in every
Yeah.
pack.
12 cards, no colors.
Colors don't matter.
Colors don't matter. It just felt so weird. Like everyone was just trying to take the best card, right? There was like very little synergy going on. It just felt like they thought draft was like a afterthought.
Yeah. You can,
Like,
you
it's
can
not
definitely
a
tell
real
they
thing.
didn't focus on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to go to the drawing board and figure something out because I don't think like being able to play all 6 colors is the answer. Like,
1000%.
Yeah.
Out there.
I think it's going to be basically like a jumpstart kind of deal when they really kind of figure out draft again. And it's going to be some sort of like, okay, well, it's going to be pre-sorted, sort of like how Hearthstone was, where you pick your colors and then midway through you get to pick your second color and you just kind of have a little bit of,
I think like a Hearthstone arena type thing where
Yeah.
like if it was virtual,
yeah.
could work where they give you 3 cards and you pick one.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing with what's the other one with the Riot? They have Legends of Runeterra.
Oh yeah.
And they have a very similar system in that way too, where you're just like, I'm going this faction or whatever it is. In this particular case, it's steel.
Oh, yeah, you have to grab the heroes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so you get that going. And so I think that's kind of where they're at because they really pigeonholed you in like the way you play the game is 2-color decks, basically, right?
Right.
And so when you just completely destroy the color pie, you're kind of taking something away from the
Not
game.
like the color pie is even a real thing in this game. Like,
Well, it's just,
There's not a lot of differentiation between the colors. I don't think.
it's also the first set of this.
Yeah.
And so if you look back at Magic, like when they first started too, you saw like in that kind of vein where you saw, this guy's a 2/2. This one has a 2/2 for 3. You know, you got Gray Ogre, you got Grizzly Bear.
Right.
Yeah. And so there's always going to be some overlap there. And I think that's fine. And, you know, there's some cards in here that were like, hey, this steel card has a 2/2 for 1. Hey, that blue deck has a 2/2 for 1. I don't know what.
Do you
blue
think
is.
40 cards is too many?
I think 4 packs is too many for like a
It
sustainable.
felt like
draft.
it. Yeah. And it was expensive too, right?
Yeah.
Well, like $25 for a draft.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
a lot.
I just think that if we had like a 15 or 16, you know, kind of
Like
instead
for
of 12.
$25,
Yeah.
you could
Any
draft
card.
like Modern Masters 1 or Modern Horizons 1. Like,
Yeah, but does it have a genie in it?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to play like the first edition of the
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and I understand like their price point. Like I feel like $140 for a box is like fairly reasonable, even though it's only
Really? I
24
think it's
pack.
kind of high, right? Our Magic box is usually like $100.
yeah, but it's different. Like they're like every pack has a foil. There's 2 rares. You actually get more rares per box than you do in a Magic pack.
Mhm.
You get more, you know.
These were like set boosters in my eyes. Like they
They're
weren't
better, right?
Yeah, like much better. Oh, I mean, guaranteed foil is pretty nice.
Guaranteed foil plus.
Isn't there
2
guaranteed
rares.
foil in every pack of Magic cards?
No,
Oh,
No.
No.
And Pokemon isn't there?
I don't think so.
I don't
Are
know.
you sure?
No, I'm not sure about
Oh.
Pokemon.
I don't think I've ever played Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was kind of neat to. I think I really like what you said, where you're the first person to like really try this out, and we're kind of beta test, not beta,
Yeah.
being kind of trying it out for the first time, coming from a Magic perspective, which is kind of interesting.
I kind of tried to avoid like articles and stuff about drafting it and all that too. I just kind of wanted to form an opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched like someone draft it. Like I didn't actually watch it. I just like pulled up the video while I was at work. But yeah, I didn't know very much going into it.
I think if I had saw like a comprehensive tier list, I think that would have changed the whole draft entirely.
Well, yeah, right. Like,
well, I think
for
if we
sure.
took those same 6 people and we drafted 20 times,
Yeah, I think we'd have.
We'd solve it.
the cycle would like adjust so much it would be wild. Like
Yeah.
I do think there's like depth to it, but the depth is not going to come when you play like noobs or
Yeah.
different people.
When
Right.
it's our very first time ever playing.
Yeah. Like, cause like the deck that won had like all 4 drops or less. And now we all realize, oh, like you have to have something for that.
They had a lot
Yeah.
of synergy too with those 4 drops, like that Ulsa Anna
Nah,
synergy.
it was just like literally face.
he just
Yeah, like
swarmed.
he did nothing but go face.
I
Yeah,
saw
he
him
just
have
swarmed me.
all the Elsas.
He had like one Anna that untapped them all or whatever, but like he's like, yeah, that kind of sucked, but my highest card cost 4 and I just stopped playing mana at 4. Cause like the mana system like is a trap. Cause like Roby was saying to me,
Yeah,
in the draft,
we were talking to it with someone else, right? About like the 7 mana cards.
yeah, you think you're gonna be able to play whatever you want because like almost all of your cards are lands, but like, is it really worth it to
It's a
discard 3 cards to play a
disadvantage.
7 drop?
It's like a disadvantage to like get that high in mana for
Right.
sure. Like, or you could just play out your hand, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like Magic where like you draw. If you draw like 5 lands in an aggro deck, you just lose.
I don't know. I don't know
You're
about that.
wrong.
I don't know about that. Like this it's just you're more conscious of all the lands that you're drawing, I guess, because you're just like, wow, I really want more velocity in my deck. And then now you're seeing like I'm sacrificing like a Simba to just play my 1-drop.
Right.
And so it feels worse, but it's actually just like mana.
But
it's
the-
almost easier to curve out on this too, because you could just
It is like you should curve out. Like there's no reason you shouldn't curve out. Yeah, I think even if you're drafting right, like from 1 to like 4, there's like 0 reason why you shouldn't be able to do that.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think ideally if you drafted this enough with like the same group of people, like those 1 through 4 slots would be like more contested.
Yeah.
And then the higher stuff would be like actually playable and valuable.
Mhm.
But like as it stands right now, like anything that costs more than 6 to me has to absurdly like affect the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's not worth it because like everything that costs 7, like you're fine getting to 5. Like getting to 5, no problem. Getting to 4, no problem.
Yeah.
But anything more than that, you have to like effectively discard a card to play that card, and you're not going to have like 8 7-drops in your deck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would never play a card in Magic that's like discard 2 cards, then pay 7.
Yeah. It works the opposite way that it would probably work in Magic. Like having a 7-drop that could also be a land is like amazing in Magic.
Yeah.
Like that's why the land cyclers are good, right?
Right.
Like that's super good in Magic because like having lands is so important. But I don't know. Like in this game, it just feels so different. Like it feels like you'd rather just have like a 2-drop than any random 7-drop.
Like-
a 2-drop that's a land is better than because hitting your 2 is more important in
I
this
don't know.
game.
I don't know.
Like if you like in theory, right? Like I think you look at the quest points, and if you can get as many of those that quest for 2 as possible, and then the game is literally who can play 10 cards first. Like I think that's the game,
Yeah.
which like isn't super fun to me.
Okay, so what mechanics stood out to you as being a good mechanic so far?
Rush.
Rush, really?
Rush for you is the one.
Just because I was on the back foot often, and like Rush is the only way that you could really recover, because you can play a dude and like stop somebody right now and then make them decide if they want to quest again, and you get another efficient kill. Like you 2 for 1. Like Rush is often a 2 for 1.
For me, like the one that really stood out was Bodyguard. Bodyguard is kind of cute. Like that's more of like a aggro deck mechanic where like you're tapping your 1-drops and they can't do anything about it because you played like a Hercules and they have to like sacrifice a guy to get in to kill your 1-drop.
Yeah.
I thought evasive or elusive
Yeah.
really
Evasive
stood
was
out. Yeah.
Really not thought out at all.
Yeah, I just think,
Especially in draft. There's like no reach.
yeah. I mean, this is like definitely like a beta kind of
Yeah,
draft where
yeah.
you're just like, man, you just draft a flyer and there's not very many ways of dealing with it.
There is like no
You know.
ways. Right?
Yeah.
I
And-
killed one of Andrew's flyers. I had to 2 for 1 myself. And I had to attack it with a Donald Duck because he gives your musketeers evasive on your turn. So yeah, there's like no way to deal with it. How do we feel about the instants and sorceries or the actions?
Like so many of them couldn't be mana, and they're just so niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up siding them out after my first game.
Yeah.
A lot of them. A lot of them are really bad too. Like the 2-mana discard a card is like a worthless card.
The 4 mana make him discard 2 though is gas, especially with
not.
Sebastian, bro.
I don't know what
Sebastian has Singer
does.
4. He's a
Mhm.
2-drop, and he can sing songs for 4.
Oh, man.
So on turn 3, you play a 3-drop and you make him discard 2.
Yeah.
But it's not
busted.
a song though. The
Yeah, it
discard
is.
2?
The discard 2 is a song. I have it.
It's not. I'm looking at it right
It's
now.
not. I cheated.
Yeah. Ryan's a cheater.
Damn, it was so good.
Yeah.
I paid for it most of the time. I only had like a Sebastian.
I definitely messed up on my songs a couple times. I think I could have been more efficient on my song.
Yeah.
just had to
I did it
double look.
every time. I figured the songs out because like a lot of mine were singers. I had some singers
Yeah.
that tapped for 5. I tried to build around the princesses
Mhm.
because like I got a Moana
Mhm.
and Moana does something with princesses. Oh yeah, like whenever you quest Moana, you can ready your other princesses. So that is like it makes combat okay because you can quest all your princesses,
Mhm.
and then quest your Moana, untap them all, and then you can attack.
Yeah, it's just so
Which is
hard to
sick.
just interact with a ready character in this game.
Yeah.
It just felt terrible. I was like, come on, just attack with it or go quest with it. You know, we could deal with it then. And then it just took too long sometimes to just kind of.
It's kind of weird, like not having blocking.
Do you feel like it's like a waste of a turn to like not do something with your dudes? Sometimes?
1000%.
Oh no! That's how I lost. Like in that game, I was playing against the person who was playing aggro. They just stopped. They stopped the questing because my guys got so much bigger, and so I had better creatures on the board, like arguably better creatures. But they just waited with a couple of elusive guys, and they just had this like 6 group of guys there and just quested out for 6. And I was like, oh, I'm just dead.
But like, what's the difference if they did it like 4 turns ago?
Yeah.
Because then it's not a
They
threat
still
anymore.
just quested once.
It's just not a threat anymore. You know, at that point now I have board control. I can start questing myself is the other thing.
But like, they still got the same amount of points as if they would have quested earlier.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't
Right.
think so.
I
Well, then
think,
they
like,
made their
not
guys
questing.
vulnerable.
Tapping your guys, but like it's not like magic, okay? So like questing your guys into complete suicide is better than attacking into blockers because the damage sticks.
I don't know.
I think so, because you're like getting a resource, even because like even though them blocking isn't as free in magic because they have to give up a resource, which is their character's health.
I think once you just get board control in this game, like I just conceded so many turns before, I was at like 5
I
life
was
before.
always suiciding my guys because like you get something out of it. Like those damage counters on there, like I had removal spells that dealt like 2 and 3, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of times I would just like quest my guy into certain death just to like hit him with a removal spell the next
I
turn.
think there's just so many things in the game, like challenger, things that interact that make you want to interact with like doing the combat system in this. When you take that away, that's rough. Because now I'm looking at my challenger Simba and it's like, this guy does nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, but if you turn your guy sideways, then I can efficiently get rid of it. And then I could start questing with my guys because now I get board control.
Right. But I'm saying like,
Yeah.
if you holding your guys up does nothing to the other person besides like keeps your guys invulnerable. Like if you had better creatures, you could just quest anyway if his guys aren't tapped, right? Like there's no punishment to you.
Like, how do you win the race then? I guess you just keep challenging him and say, okay,
Well, you have
I'm
to
gonna-
make him tap his guys, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
otherwise he's just going to build up. Like
Yeah.
if no one makes each other do anything, it's first person that has 20 lore counters out there just wins.
Yeah, you just
does it
kind
all
of,
at
yeah,
once.
you do it all at once. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like the value comes from multiple times questing, right? So like,
Yeah.
and the value comes from like making your opponents waste their time killing your dudes while you're just like putting
questing.
more,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like win cons out on the
I
board.
think if you get the early couple points and you take the point lead kind of early, then you could really just kind of like sit back.
No wall.
I don't think you
I
need to
don't.
sit back.
I'm not
though.
a sit
Like,
back guy.
Yeah.
Like,
in this.
the only
Yeah.
reason you're ever sitting back is the board's at parity and the dude can kill all of your stuff with one swing.
Mhm.
And if that's true,
Yeah.
then that guy's just going to quest anyway, and then
Yeah.
you're going to have to do it next turn.
Yeah.
So you just give him the chance to take the lead for like no reason, right?
I
Mhm.
think so. Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
It's like a burn deck, like we're just
I
like.
think these are burn decks.
Yes.
I think that's how
Is that
you
what it
do
is?
this.
Like-
Is like burn decks.
So what happens if like they gain a life somewhere in the middle of that and you're just like,
It doesn't. Like theyve wasted a card, so they
like
lost
gaining
like
a life
3
is like
life.
the same as them
Oh.
like killing one of my dudes, right?
I
Like,
think like if I would have gone back, I would have probably looked at like the Rapunzel card or whatever. I think that was the one where it's like you can minus a lore off them. And I think those cards might have been better than I thought initially. If you're trying to go to that deeper into the late game kind of situation there. Like there was a card in my sideboard I probably should have played at main board where if I quest, they lose lore equal to the number of quests that I did.
yeah, that turn.
And so that would be like, whoa, that's like a lightning helix swing there.
Yeah,
If you're going to put it in burn terms.
sure.
Yeah.
But like, it's like a card that doesn't like actually solve anything that's happening, right? Like it can swing a race,
Mhm.
just like Giant Growth can swing a race.
Yeah.
Right. But like, it's not the answer to the race. Like, it's not the end all be all to the race. I don't think, unless the race is like very close.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you're just suiciding your guys like all the time.
I was
Like,
I
if
usually
you have
was.
better
Yeah.
creatures than me,
Yeah.
like, what is the point for me to save my creatures up to kill you in one turn when they're going to get a swing only once anyway?
Do you have the point lead? Like who has the point lead? I guess it's like about who has the point lead, right? At that point.
Yeah. Like, you have
Yeah.
to defend. Like, but if I'm the beatdown,
Yeah.
why would I ever save up? Like, how does that stop you in any way?
If there's cards, I guess, that interact with that where you can get a little bit more advantage. Like the way he was getting me with like a Milan or something like that, where it was like, I'll get more, or it was maybe.
Oh yeah, I got him with the Mulan.
Yeah. And then he had a couple other things where like if he quested with a guy, he'd get a little bit more advantage or a cog in the wheel kind of thing.
Mulan.
I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense, I guess, if you're eking out advantage. Like, Mulan seems
Yeah.
disgusting. Is that the one that adds, like,
yeah, I killed Andrew
seems-
with that. Yeah,
disgusting? Like,
Yeah.
Mulan was the card that I saw that you built around. Can you tell us what it does?
it's a 5 mana 4/5 that says during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, your other characters get +1 lore this turn. So it gave me like 4 extra lore.
Yeah. And then imagine you could, like, untap it and do it again. Like, that's just GG.
Yeah, it's a princess.
OTK card in constructed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's a princess, so it works with Moana.
Yeah.
which is cute.
I was kind of surprised how the wardrobe is just like a vanilla 3-4 was a little bit better than a vanilla 4-3.
Yeah,
like,
I think big butts is better for sure.
I think so, but you still got to have a little bit of attack so you can kind of make it de-incentivize people to attack it. But I think it was just kind of nice.
Give me 1-3s for 1, bro. Like, I want the 1-3s for 1 because I want you to have to attack it twice with your 2-drop.
Yeah.
I think the strat is to like just play as many random 1 and 2 drops that have the most amount of lore counter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then you just throw down bodyguard guys.
I don't think you need bodyguard guys.
I
Like,
think bodyguard
I
guys
think
are
putting in a
good.
guy, like if you're going to play 1 and 2 drops, putting a dude down that just starts off sideways and vulnerable is a mistake. All your dudes do is get you points.
Yeah.
Like, and if they're not getting you points, you're losing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it protects your guys that are getting you points.
But like,
then-
why not just play another guy that gets me points?
He
Like,
gets you points.
Yeah, he gets you points.
He gets you points as much as any 3-drop does. Like Hercules gets you a lore counter.
I mean, there's 3 drops that get you 2 points. Like, give me that instead of a bodyguard anytime.
Oh, I
But
don't know
like
about
this
that.
protects all your little itty bitty guys.
But
Yeah.
like, if you're hitting my little itty bite,
This like warped the game around it.
I think
They
it did.
did.
I
Yeah.
relate to
They
it
did.
a bunch.
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty tough. Like you try to get back into it, and you have to bust through this bodyguard guy first.
And like
Yeah.
that, he's like one of the worst ones. Like the real stupid ones, like Goofy. That's like a 3/6.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
costs like 6, doesn't it? 5. Yeah, 5 is reasonable, I guess.
Like there was another one. Donald Duck is stupid too.
I'd like
3/5,
Mac.
the 4-mana 3/5.
But
Yeah.
like,
I had like
Goofy-
Maximus. He was like a 4/5 with bodyguard, and that felt really good. I just played it, and they were like, "Oh, wow,
Yeah, I
I
had to
can't
deal with
race
it.
you now." Like,
Yeah.
crap.
I didn't run into too much bodyguard stuff. Like, some people played that 3/3 against me, and I just killed it and then killed the rest of their stuff. Like, it didn't matter.
Mhm.
Well, one of the better ones is the 2-mana Simba, the 2-mana 2/3 that gets you a lore counter too, and he has bodyguard Simba.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
No, he had bodyguard. Pretty good.
Yeah, I was valuing bodyguard probably too much, and princesses probably more than I should have.
I think it's just tough to build a synergistic
Yeah.
deck
I need another Moana.
or like a tribal type deck.
Maybe you draft 8 packs, and then you can only play 2 colors, 3 colors.
That's what
Yeah,
I was
and drafts
thinking.
cost 50.
Yeah, $50
Yeah.
draft.
Let's just each draft a whole box, and you have to make 6 distinct decks. And
Okay.
each can only be 2 colors.
So how would we fix this? How do we fix this terrible draft format? It kind of made me miss Lord of the Rings a little. like you don't realize what you got until you lose it, right?
Good.
Yeah, there has to be there needs to be some sort of mechanic to stop people from going face. Like, bodyguard should make you have to deal with that first, and it should like stay tapped. Like, you can't quest.
I think the combat damage is like bad. I think what they need to do is they need to like make it so like magic that the combat goes away, like the damage counters,
Ooh.
because like that would really disincentivize
Just turning them sideways.
just turning them sideways all the time, right? Like,
Yeah.
because like they're giving up resources to kill your stuff while you're winning, right? Like
You're gaining the entire board.
you're gaining the lead in the lore counters while they have to deal with your stuff. And you can just straight up ignore what other people are doing.
I think-
Like if they were able to actually kill your stuff without having to give up as many resources, I think it would be a little
I think there needs to be hero powers like in Hearthstone.
Yeah.
That you can get you can pick from any of them after the draft.
yeah. What would your suggestion be, Andrew?
I think there's got to be more like mana sync type things.
I disagree with that.
Like-
Because there's just so many I don't know. You might be right, yeah. Like the mirror.
Yeah, like the mirror was really good, but just certain things like, or maybe if you had like some sort of default something where you can be like, I don't know, take off like just some little more artifact type things with these items. I think it'd be kind of cool, or something like -1 lore counter, -1 lore.
I tried some artifact things, but
Yeah.
I ended up taking them out. Like some of them.
Yeah,
Like, I had one that was 2 mana, tap it, deal 1 damage to anybody. Like, and I just felt like it was too slow to like matter.
jeez.
I have one that I played just because I didn't have very many cards to cut. It was like 2 mana, tap it, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 on top, 1 on bottom. And that seemed like almost like I lost a card for playing it. Like, you know
The
what I
one
mean?
that Ursula,
Ursula,
develop your
no,
brain.
it's an
Develop your
item.
brain.
It's an item that you
Oh,
just do it
yeah.
every turn. You basically scry 2 every turn.
I thought
Oh.
Beast Mirror was pretty darn good. Like when I
Yeah,
was
it seems
actually
like you get
hellbent.
hellbent.
Yeah, you
real
get hellbent
easy.
pretty quick
You
here.
can, for sure. Yeah.
So do you think there's something to like not playing something as a land? Like once you get like to a certain amount of lands?
Yeah, I was holding cards actually.
I was definitely not playing stuff, just holding it because it felt like once you got to like 5 lands, what's the point of going any further?
I mean, I played a couple 7 drops tonight. Like I played
Yeah,
like
I
a
did.
3/6 that quest for 3.
I played a 9-drop.
How many times did you actually play that?
I got pretty close to casting it, but
yeah,
that's
so
about it.
0.
I just ended up winning after before I could get to it, but it was pretty good. I mean, it just straight up banishes a creature.
Like I think I think that has to be the floor for something that costs 7.
I don't know. These 7 drops didn't even feel that good.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I think in order for me to play a card that costs 7, it has to like ETB kill something. That's the floor. That's like the worst 7 drop I'd play, I think now.
I guess that's why the rush was so good for you. Where you're like, I want everything to rush or reckless or whatever. Well, not reckless.
The rush was good because the deck that beat me was just all 1 and 2 and 3 drops, and like the rush like could get me back in the game in like 2 for 1, right?
I will say, like when they were trying to just go face like that, if you stemmed off the early thing, like they just did nothing after that.
Right. Like you could turn the game, but the crazy thing is you have to turn the game at like 14.
I think you got to you got to have a plan. Like you got to have a plan.
You have to have the board by the time they're at 14, right?
Oh, probably even before then.
Yeah. No, like you have to like fully have the board by the time they're 14.
I think if they get to 10 or if they get to double digits and have you like on the ropes, then like that's gonna be really tough to come back from. Because I was at like, let's say they were at 11 and I was at 1 or 2 on my counter. I had a lot of work to do.
I never lowered against that guy. I was just trying to kill his stuff the entire time.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you think the future of this is gonna go?
I think they're gonna have to like.
Do you think they're gonna like? Do you think this is gonna be a thing that people actually want to do?
Absolutely.
Like the draft?
I don't know about draft. Like they're gonna have to fix it. They're gonna have to figure something out that's better than this. I do think it could be.
It
fun.
might be too late.
It's not too late.
No.
That's the first time, right?
It's not too late.
I don't know.
I think
like-
if they could just, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think if we all played like 6 drafts, like we would have fun by like draft.
Yeah,
4,
like
right,
it's
like
fun, right? But
we'd figure out the game and we'd get to use all the cards like for like.
is this gonna replace Magic?
No.
Yeah, that's where I'm
It's
at.
different.
Yeah, and like I don't think it's trying to, right? Or else they try harder on the draft format, right?
I mean,
No.
no, like they got to get their stuff straight first. Like I understand them not focusing on limited right off the bat. Like they've never made a card game like this, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they've played Magic and stuff. Like I'm sure they understand, but it's just they have to get like constructed figured out first.
Yeah.
How many other TCGs have like a draft kind of mechanism where it's like I'm made for draft? Like Pokemon, does that have anything like that? Anybody play Pokemon?
They have the sealed. I
If-
play Pokemon sealed.
They have like
They have
battle
seal.
boxes, right? Where you
I
like,
don't
yeah.
know.
All right, and like, what about
There's-
Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh does
I don't
either,
know.
right?
I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Like even
No, I'm just
Hearthstone's not made for draft.
Yeah,
Like, even
exactly.
Hearthstone is like constructed
bad
and
Yeah.
you can
format.
draft it.
It's a bad
through
draft
arena.
Like
Yeah.
Flesh and Blood.
Flesh and Blood is like atrocious to draft.
Yeah.
They're
Is
trying to
it?
fix
I've
it, but
never-
you like can't. 'Cause,
It's
like,
funny how Magic is just like kind of figured that out somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
They had the secret sauce like right away.
It's the best draft. Yeah. for
Yeah, I
sure,
think
like,
so.
out of all the
I can't
others.
imagine another. It's tough. It's,
I feel like
it's some big
auto
shoes to
chess
fill.
games are getting close, but
auto draft games are
Uh,
stretching that itch for a lot of people.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think like the problem is people try to emulate Magic Draft instead of like coming up with a new thing.
Yeah.
Because like it's
Yeah.
gonna be very hard to beat Magic at draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're constrained by, the game is set up to have the 2 colors.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you just build that way. That's the only thing you do.
Which isn't enough, but 5 is too many, right? Like,
Well,
6 is
yeah.
too many. Yeah, we have purple.
Yeah. I was like, maybe they could
beat
do it to
Magic
where
too.
you're like, I don't know, like you pick a color identity of 3 colors or something like that. And then you could play the other ones as just not lands. At that point, you're just playing Magic. But
Like
yeah.
I kind of had a weird idea, and I know this is like off track, But like, what if they had like 100 card pool that you could buy like each season, and you could only build decks from that, like a standardized sealed card pool for everyone.
I don't know.
Like, you know what I mean?
Did you like
That's
that?
on me.
Did you like that draft where everybody got this? It was on Arena.
The decathlon.
That was
at the very
fun.
end.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
something like that where
Yeah.
you get a kit, and then like there's like a league revolving it that's like maybe lasts like 4 weeks, and you can just
There's like a meta and like things change because it's like we all had different decks than that in the decathlon.
like that'd be like a cool concept for like a seasonal game, or like this game. Like if this game for the pre-release they just sent everyone like a certain 100 cards and like build your deck.
Yeah.
Like that'd be dope.
Yep. So are you gonna keep drafting this format?
I'll probably draft it 1 or 2 more times if I
Yeah.
can find people to do it with.
Yeah, I'm cool, but my biggest thing with this entire card game is like the lore means like nothing to me. Like you replace it with random shapes and take all the Mickey Mouse off. I'm just not about it.
You don't gotta try to impress us, Robbie.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
We know you love it.
Yeah, I'm a huge Disney fanboy.
Gosh.
Yeah.
What about you, Andrew? Would you ever draft it again?
Yeah, I'd try it again.
Like I'm gonna open the packs anyway, so like why not draft them?
Yeah,
I kind of felt
exactly.
bad to miss Midnight Hunt for this. Is my thing.
They
Like,
didn't do a full
yeah, it was like
It
a
wasn't a
fake
full
Midnight
Midnight
Hunt. Yeah, there was a Crimson Vow pack ruining that draft format. For
Oh no, that's
everyone.
good stuff. That's good
and they had a
stuff.
double feature, I thought, didn't they? Or was it just
No, it was you get to choose if we wanted to do another Midnight Hunt or that was a little chaosy element, other than double Crimson Vow, of course.
Well, it's bomb heavy format. So.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And blood is insane.
Blood is insane.
Blood is very good.
It was such a balanced
But do you remember how
format too.
bad
It was
Red Black
not
was?
balanced.
It was super
No.
balanced. That was the thing that people didn't like about it.
No,
What was the dominant? Name like 2 of the dominant ones.
blood. Period.
Blood was
Well,
disgusting.
Name
Very good.
2 colors that were so outrageously more powerful than others.
Rakdos. Like
Rakdos
literally,
and
standard
Gruul
was
good,
completely
too.
taken over by Crimson Vow's Rakdos draft deck.
I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Actually, that is true. That is big facts, right? Like the
What?
Rakdos
Like
guy.
Blood
The,
Tithe Harvester and the 1 drop that gets you a blood. Like those were standard staples.
still are.
Yes.
Yeah. Popper plays the 1 drop. Yeah.
I want to see some facts on this. I need to fact check this thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at
That card was
Called
stupid.
eyeballs.
off air. I'm gonna definitely look at 17 lands and go back, get some data on that format. I think it
Come
was.
with your facts, Andrew.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was above 60%. It was probably they were all like 50 something, right? Like
You think so?
I think they were all probably in like the 56 range. I don't think anybody had a 57. Like what was the highest? win
It
percentage
did
there?
ruin standard. But-
Well, standard. That's different. I'm talking about
But like
draft.
that was the
Yeah.
draft form.
Draft.
That's like saying adventures weren't broken down Eldraine when like Eldraine was just like standard was just adventures after that and Cauldron Drafts. Like
Yeah, yeah. It was broken in draft too.
It was
Cauldron
so good.
Draft.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that was super fun in draft when you got it. Felt
Yeah.
really good.
Yep. Wild to Fell Drain's coming back.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
It looks broken AF, by the
I
way.
haven't looked at it too
I've-
much.
Yeah,
I've
there's
looked at some of it. All right, what else do we have to talk about?
Superfecta.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. What's our superfecta?
Since
this
this
week?
was a non-magic pod this week,
Yeah.
non-magic games.
Can we narrow it?
Sure. What do you want to narrow it to?
Card games.
Card game? There's like only 12 games, if even.
Yeah, that's enough, right? I have to go first.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do I just take the obvious one of Magic?
No,
That's my
non-magic.
Non-Magic. Okay. Non-Magic card games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Site.
Poker.
The
was
Andrew
my
just
pick.
stole
Yeah,
it.
that's
That was
it.
my
Game over, buddy.
That was my pick. We're gonna go with Dominion,
Ooh,
I've never played it. Yeah.
and then
that's a good one.
after that, we're gonna go with Pitch. I just love Pitch. I know, like it's an old thing, but y'all should try. It's fun.
Uno.
Lame. Uno sucks.
Uno is trash.
What?
Uno sucks.
I hate Uno.
People love Uno.
Yeah, those people have never played a real game before.
I can't believe you guys haven't named any of like the nerdy ones yet. Like the ones that you play like Hearthstone or like Legends of Runeterra or like any of those.
We're trying to name the best ones.
The best ones.
Yeah.
Pokemon Site. That's a basic.
It's,
I get two,
it's
right?
Cool, yeah. Yeah, you get two.
I'll go for a deep cut. It was like the first card game I was ever exposed to. It's called Jihad. It was made by Mark Rosewater. I got the cards at a garage sale. It was like vampires. They ended up changing the name It's a desert storm. but yeah, it's called Jihad. It was like, it's not like jihad. It's like jihad.
Like the way it's actually spelled.
Yeah, like JYHAD. And the card scared the shit out of me as a kid. Jihad. Yeah, they ended up changing it to, it was just called Vampire after that.
Oh.
But yeah, it was the first card game I've ever seen.
Blackjack.
Y'all lame.
Blackjack.
Y'all are lame.
Blackjack.
Tell me another card game.
It's not even fun though.
Spades.
Who's
Bring
like
it, bring it,
ribbon.
bring it, bring it.
Canasta.
Canasta.
Rummy.
Rummy's good.
Shit on your neighbor.
Where we go with this? Old maid. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Go
those
fish.
are all better than blackjack.
You like what? There's
Blackjack's
probably
like
there's
fine, but it's like not. I don't know. It's not like fun. It's only fun because money's involved.
how many games of blackjack do you think are being played right now?
1 billion.
That's very popular.
Only because of money.
You
Give me. Oh God. Give me.
just named a bunch of them.
Give me Clank.
Clank is fun. I've only played that one time.
Give me Clank, and then with my last pick, I will take. This is a tough one. You threw the card thing out of nowhere.
We can do two. We can do two superfectas if you want.
No, that's okay. We can just do the one. Give me Sushi Go.
Settlers of Catan.
That's not a card.
That's
game.
not a card.
It has
game.
cards in it.
That's not a card game though. That's not like a deck. If it has cards,
It has
It
cards,
has
right?
cards?
It has cards,
If it's
right?
How
It
does
has
that-
cards?
Cards are a huge thing about it. They're just resources, right? But they're cards.
but like you are actually, it's not a card game. It's a board game that has cards in it.
I mean, you can maybe say the same.
It's
about
a Clank, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's like a
I mean,
deck
we're throwing
builder.
Clank out there.
Clank is more like the cards do
It's a
everything.
deck builder, though,
I
right?
guess, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna veto it now, but like, if you vote for Andrew, just know you're not voting for a card game.
If you're not voting for me, you don't love Settlers of Catan.
King make game.
What?
It's a king make game. Like the loser can decide the winner, so it's
Yeah.
kind of bad. Like I loved it at first. Like it got me into board gaming. It's a great
Yeah.
game, but like
played
one
it a
sour
long
apple
time.
ruins the whole bunch. Ruins the whole bunch.
Yeah, I played it.
What's your last pick?
My last pick. Oh, what's the anime one? The anime one, like they have like L's and stuff.
I should have picked Hearthstone Battlegrounds.
What is that called?
It's not like a real card game, though, right? Like it's a digital card game. Are we talking like
Digital
It's a
what
physical?
digital card
Are we-
game.
digital what
Well, you
game?
can have
A dig-
digital card games.
Are we gonna have
That's
digital?
fine.
Are we gonna? Okay.
Do you want to change it? Blackjack was pretty lame.
I mean, I think there's more people playing blackjack right now than there are people playing Hearthstone.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Give it 3 hours and then we'll talk.
Shadowverse. Shadowverse. That's what I'm thinking of.
I feel like I've played that before.
It's fun. It's cool. I recommend it. It's like a mobile game.
Wait,
I like-
how many do you have?
I have 4.
You have 4?
I had.
I feel like we got.
Those 4.
Okay.
I have Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is cool. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just degenerate because like the card pool is insane because like they don't like their like standard format is like Legacy.
Oh,
Like
really?
yeah. Like they only have like one format and that's like Legacy. So it just like is really degenerate. There's lots of turn 1 kills. It's tight. And Pokemon, which is cool.
All right.
Pokemon's fun.
Pokemon's cool just because like all Pokemon stuff's cool. But like
The card game is
the
good.
video
though.
game's way
The
better.
card game is good.
It's okay.
I like it. It's very degenerate compared to like
Right.
Magic.
It's okay.
All right.
Yeah. Better than Blackjack.
Man, everybody hating on blackjack.
I don't know. I used to be a blackjack dealer. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Casinos win so much money off of it's crazy.
Yeah. So what else do we got? Is that all we have this week? Lorcana?
Yeah,
Do we recommend or not recommend as a podcast?
draft it, but just things that cost 4 or less are very good. Like draft it
Usually
once, right?
I like
Just to say you did it.
I don't know. All right. That's a thumbs up from Ryan. Thumbs down from Roby.
Oh, that's a thumbs up for me. I
Yeah,
think it'll be
Thumbs up
fun.
from Andrew.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll actually
played
be fun
Magic,
and
too.
it'll be fun and constructed. Actually,
Yeah, I mean,
I
like
could
you're
see
gonna
that
open
already.
the packs anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well get some play out of it.
like where I'm, like if I'm able to actually have removal in my deck, I feel like the aggro deck doesn't really.
Oh, we'll see. Like
Yeah.
the first constructed deck I built is going to be the most possible aggressive thing you've ever seen.
What is it? There's like a Captain Hook that brings back the.
The one
cannon.
mana tapper for 2.
Bro, yeah, it quests for 2. It's in my deck.
Costs like
If it quests for 2, it costs 3 or less. That's what I'm playing.
You just shoot it with a shock.
Sure,
Shock it.
but I
Done.
already quested.
Shocks cost 2 in this game.
Shocks cost 1 in this game.
Oh yeah, it does. I just
Shock is a shock.
yeah. There's the 3-mana deal 3.
There's
Smash.
Now I'm gonna play the 5-mana card that lets me refill up to 7. And
Oh,
then
that's
it's
so good. That card is.
aggro, refill to 7, rinse, repeat, go face every time. That's the game. Have fun. You're welcome. Format solved.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got this week.
We'll catch you back on the flip.
Bye.
Yeah.